Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Hey, I'm James Cooley, the host of E360. It's Your Life, the James Cooley Show, which I tell you, I want you to watch because we're going to encourage people to dream big, think big, and be big at everything they do. We're going to have absolutely fantastic guests that are going to come on that's going to inspire each and every last one of us. And we are going to work together because we are a team. And you always have heard the saying, it takes a village to raise a kid or communities and all of these other type of things. That's what we're going to do. With the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life on E360 television, on 31 different podcasts, on the radio, streaming, radio, TV. I hope you're doing this real soon. It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley. See you soon. Hello. Hey, I'm James Cooley. I am the founder and CEO of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, Options of the Church/Detroit. Our primary mission is to help build a foundation of our youth and young adults and communities. And we encourage everyone to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. And the way that you do that is, first of all, you got to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are here for a purpose. You also have to be able to step out your comfort zone and do things that you probably didn't think that you can do.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, phrases and stages. These experiences teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to It's Your Life with James Cooley. James is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation. James is here to equip you to strive for greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get you equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, James Cooley.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and I tell you, we got an absolutely fantastic guest here with us today, and we're going to talk about this thing called mental health and how it is becoming a pandemic. I mean, especially in the United States. I'm sure that they have the same problems all over the world, but it's a major problem here. And if you all was looking at the news yesterday, I mean, that was so tragic. and it just tears my heart apart that someone could actually be thinking that way and actually go out and kill innocent, and it's just so painful. And I think it's something that we need to talk about because it is becoming a pandemic in the United States and probably around the world in a lot of places. But just when it hits home and we don't have the answers, that's when I believe that we have to put our minds together, come up with some solutions. I mean, kind of look at the laws. I think we have to re-examine everything in order to try to solve this problem. So uh, I got this absolutely fantastic guest with me today, and he's going to explain. He's an expert, and I'll tell you a little bit about him in a minute. But he's going to explain a lot of things as relate to mental health, and he also going to explain a lot of things as it becoming a pandemic. So my guest today is Dr. Michael Mantell, and I tell you, this guy is incredible. He's been been in the industry for over 50 years. I mean, as a physician, a doctor, psychologist, and a lot of other great things. And he's an expert in this area. Been on television, um, ABC, NBC, Oprah Winfrey, a lot of different shows. They always call upon him to come and try to get some type of analogy of what he thought might have happened. So let me give you a quick synopsis of Dr. Michael Mantell. Dr. Michael Mantell, for nearly 50 years, has been helping people all over the world and all ages and backgrounds that was disturbed and had created a everlasting legacy on some of the things that people should look for, some of the things that um, has happened, and some of the ways that they might have been thinking and trying to come up with some rationale of why a person would do or what they do. Dr. Mantell earned his PhD at the University of Pennsylvania after completing his MS degree in clinical psychology. He has served as the chief psychologist for Children's Hospital of San Diego, chief psychologist for San Diego Police Department, chief behavior scientist consultant for the American Council of Exercise, co-founded chief science officer of plus size certification, just a complete list of other accolades and things that he has been a part of. Dr. Mantell is a member of the Science Advocacy Council of the International Council on Active Aging, a longtime member of SAG and AFTRA since 1981. Just like I said, he has been on plenty of podcasts, broadcasts, television, Good Morning America, Oprah Winfrey, Larry King, Men's Health, and many, many more. And so my thing is, this man right here knows what he's talking about, and I just can't wait to get an opportunity to talk to him. So without any further delay, uh, how you doing, Dr. Mantell?
Oh, it's an honor for me to be on with you, Dr. James Cooley.
Yes,
And you know that I hold you in the highest of esteem, and I know that your many raving fans and followers know why. You are the man who you are. You're a hero.
well, I believe that we all have to do our part in making sure that we make our world, our country, our neighborhoods, our communities, and people around us better. And so it's I always said it requires a village or a team or etc. in order to make sure that these things happen. Dr. Mantell, as I said in my intro, I'm a little disturbed over some of the things that happened, especially yesterday. That kind of sit me and Michelle back, but we had to sit back and think about how 2022. Why are things still happening like this, especially in our elementary schools and supermarkets, and I mean, just it's so. What are your thoughts on that, Doctor Mantell?
Well, you and I could write a book. And by the way, I want to send a shout out to Michelle, who's a tremendous partner in all of this. She's the best. And since we're including our village, I'll say hello to my wife Paula as well. Okay, now that we've taken care of that, this topic is heart wrenching. I've been at this since 1979, 1980. When I was a chief psychologist, and I got a call one day. There was a shooting in a McDonald's restaurant in the San Ysidro area of San Diego, California, where I live. And I was 31 years old, just became the chief psychologist for the San Diego PD. A shooting, I don't know what to do. I mean, whoa, I went down there, and that opened up a whole new world of shootings in schools, in churches, in synagogues, in grocery stores, in subways. Wherever we go, we see this venomous problem that we have. Now, I'll share with you the fact that a conservative estimate is that 20% of our population has something that we call a mental disorder, mental disease, mental illness. About 50 million or so Americans. But of those, more than half aren't getting treatment. We have guns that are proliferating our society. Many decades ago, I testified in front of Congress to help ban handguns. This is not political. This is about saving life. My goodness, how is it possible? How is it possible? We heard the president last night, talk about how is it possible that this continues? How are we not making this public enemy number one? We have everyone who's offering prayers and hopes and condemning. I'm big on prayer. I'll talk about that later. But I'm much bigger on action. And we need to take action now. This is not suicide amongst young people is escalating. There's some data that suggests that over this pandemic, that suicide among young children and young people ages 10 to 24 rose almost 60%. It's not a single cause and effect phenomenon, just like shootings. Researchers who look at this list many causes, multiple factors that deal with this. Young people feel more anxious and depressed. There's a decline in sleep. There's decreasing amounts of physical activity, increased loneliness, the impact of social media. What about marginalized groups, the LGBTQ groups? What about kids who are having issues with being bullied, cyberbullying? The fact of the matter is that today we look at kids from Black, Indigenous, people of color groups. We look at people who are facing racialized violence. This issue continues on and on. Gun control is a big part of it, but it's only one. We have become uncaring. This young man in Texas, like every shooter in America, mass shooting, was known to have a problem. He was known. His friends knew it. His family knew it. The school knew it. The cops knew it. Why wasn't he? The McDonald's shooting started with a man who reached out to the local community mental health center. I need help. Sorry, we can't see you right now. Okay. He killed 27 people. This young man in Texas, decades later, yesterday, reached out to friends and said, I got guns. I got a surprise for you. He texted to people. What? I got a little surprise for you. What do you mean? He was bullied and teased for his speech impediment for a long time in his childhood. No one ever reached out and put their arms around him and said, let me help you. We have a problem that we don't look beyond the outside. We don't have enough mental health providers. I can go on and on and on.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We need a lot more mental health advice. But Doc, this is what disturbs me. The last two shooters was 18 years of age. Why are we allowing anybody under 21 years of age to go out and buy a rifle? You know, I understand the political side of it. I understand the money with NRA. I understand all that stuff. But there has to be some common sense rules. And I believe that this has to be thought out a little bit more. We need to put the politicals to the side. We need to think common sense. So I believe that we have to reconsider just like I said, the laws that are on the table right now. They are not working. They are not working.
Think about this, James. Over 60% of young people, over 60% with major depression don't receive any mental health treatment. 1 in 3 are going without any care, even in states with access. More than over 2.5 million, if my math is correct, youth in the United States have severe major depression, and this rate is highest among youth who identify as more than one race. Racial inequality is a big issue today. People who have come from difficult backgrounds, from financially stressed backgrounds, are not getting the help they want because we put politics before people, and it's got to stop. You know, I served on a committee once where a fellow member of the committee used to say, we should get someone who's going to donate $1 million. And then we need to get someone who will donate a half. And I finally said to this guy, if you don't stop with, we need to get someone, we need to stop talking about, we need to do this and do that. Let's just do it. What will it take to ensure that teachers are equipped, that police officers are assisted, that community religious groups come together to reach out to? I was once called to a shooting I'm forgetting the state now, forgive me. And it was a Black community. And they said, you got to speak to them. I said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to speak to the clergy here. So they organized all the African-American clergy. And there they were waving the white handkerchief. And there I was, this guy from San Diego, California. And I said, let's come together. Let me come back and talk with you about how to identify people in trouble. People who seem lonely, the back row person, the person who doesn't come, who missed Sunday. Do you, as a preacher, call out to that person? Hey, missed you. Who's doing that? Well, they'll let themselves be known, but not in a good way. So I'm all for humanity. I know that sounds silly and cheesy and cheap, but what do you think is going to solve this problem? Banning handguns? That'll cut down on some of it, but not enough. When one heart reaches another, then we're making progress.
It's all about teaching love, loving each other. We're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back and continue this absolutely fantastic discussion with Dr. Michael Mantell. It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley. We'll be back shortly.
The J.C. Cooley Foundation is a nonprofit organization that was started in October of 2014. The J.C. Cooley Foundation continues to strive to expand its programs and offerings to the youth, young adults, and citizens of our great communities nationwide and overseas. We hope that you'll be able to take part in one or more of the many exciting events that we're offering this year and experience firsthand the pride we take in supporting our cause. It's our mission to equip the youth of today for the challenges of tomorrow, and we rely heavily on the generosity of individuals and business owners for support. Without the assistance of community-minded individuals just like you, we wouldn't be able to serve our youth each year. We ask that you make a commitment to support our annual appeal by making a cash donation. This year's goal is $50,000. Your generosity will assist us in making a difference in the lives of the youth in our community. You can give online at CooleyFoundation.org. Remember that every donation makes a difference regardless of size. The J.C. Cooley Foundation thanks you in advance for your contribution.
My program is built on the 4 C's. And the 4 C's are create. Create. Create is the thoughts that we have. Each and every last one of us have these thoughts, these ideas, these dreams. We have these things every day. A lot of times when we get these thoughts, we don't want to do anything but lay down and go back to sleep or whatever that might be, and we wake up and the thoughts are gone. I believe that a high spirit is always telling us something every single day. Every single day. So create the ideals that you get, that you think about, that you dream of. That you say, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it.
Welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley, and I'm talking to the fantastic Dr. Michael Mantell, and we're talking about a very difficult topic. Just like I said, I think we need to talk about it a little bit more. I think we need to kind of look at laws on the books. Most importantly, Dr. Mantell brought up something that it's going to require more than just changing the laws. It's going to require us to actually start caring for each other and loving each other and just working together. And I believe that that's the only way that we're going to be able to combat this problem that we are having. And so, Dr. Mantell, I want to pick it up where we left off at, because you're absolutely right. You know, it's going to require a lot of coming together, putting our minds together, trying to figure out how we get away from this thing where the races are pointing fingers at each other, the communities are pointing fingers at each other, all of this. We got to live in this world together. And it doesn't matter whether you're black, white, pink, gold, or purple, you are a human being. It doesn't matter. It's all about humanity, just like you said. Can you pick it up from that, Doctor?
Yeah, we have. Look, I said to you last time I was on your show, you got to look beyond the outside to that which lies within. Let's look at what someone can become, not what he or she has been. Let's focus on that. Now, this sounds nice, and yeah, wonderful words. In the meantime, 19 kids were killed yesterday, and today is only half over. So we don't know what's going to happen yet. But the American Psychiatric Association, at its current meeting, has developed a number of key social, psychological connections that they believe are part of why we have such a pandemic of mental illness. May I take you through some of them?
Absolutely, Doctor.
Okay. Number one on their list is youth cyberbullying. Sticks and stones, they say, may break bones, but cyberbullying can shred souls. This young man yesterday has been bullied. Victims of cyberbullying or bullying of any kind, teased, marginalized, are at higher risk of developing depression, self-harm, suicidal attempts, substance abuse, and anxiety. This young man had a friend who said he showed up one day in the park and his face was all cut up. And the kid said, "What?" to the shooter, whose name I don't want to mention. "What's with the?" He said, "Well, I like the way I look with these cuts." My goodness. Another one, and this will blow you away. Climate change. Climate change is causing psychological difficulties? Yes, it is. Declining food production caused by rising temperatures. Again, Black, indigenous people of color suffer more from this. Then we have stress and trauma with major shifts in weather, poverty as a result of climate change issues. It goes on and on and on. What about the structural racism in our society today? There's been an increasing recognition that racism is not simply having negative or hateful attitudes towards people of color. It's endemic. It's part of every area of our life. And we have to understand the psychological impact that this has on people's well-being. Now, women, clear lessons for turbulent times. Nothing could be clearer demonstration, the American Psychiatric Association says, than the effects of health on women, COVID, the Me Too movement, increasingly stringent limitations on abortion on women's health, the LGBTQ community and the way they are being treated. What about how psychiatrists can reclaim individuals with mental illness that are stuck in the criminal justice system? What are we doing there? HIV, we think, oh, that's past. No, that's a model of health inequity, the way people with this disease is being treated. And last but not least, we have physicians who are burning out. They're leaving medicine in record numbers. So we don't even have enough people to take care of those who are in need. When you put all this together, you understand it's not just one thing, but all we need. The Surgeon General of the United States just put out a report on burnout amongst physicians, a brilliant report. He's terrific. He's doing a good job, but we need action now. That's what we need. So I'd like to see every community have an individual responsible for the well-being, the emotional well-being, and meet with police, clergy, educational people, media. I'd like to see community groups, religious groups, racial groups, all come together and sit down at the table. I remember when I was chief psychologist for San Diego PD, the chief and I would sit down with the local groups, the local communities, the hard-hit communities, every Friday, and we would eat lunch together and we talk about what's going on. We didn't see these problems. We were one.
So the title of today's show is Mental Health, the Next Pandemic. What are some of the things, Dr. Mantell, that you think that we need to just do right now to try to slow this down and try to get our world back on the right track?
Lifestyle medicine has become a new hot topic today. It's a new it's not a new organization. It's an approach to health, to treating and reversing disease by replacing unhealthy behaviors with positive ones. So let me give you 6 areas. 1, let's look at the nutrition that we have in our communities. Food is medicine. Let's choose the right foods and be sure that all members of our communities have access to healthy foods. Exercise, regular, consistent physical activity. Could be 10 minutes. You don't need to go to a fancy gym. Go for a walk. I can't go for a walk. My neighborhood's dangerous. Then do some push-ups in your house. Stress, number 3. Stress can lead to improved health and productivity, or it can lead to anxiety and depression and obesity and immune dysfunction. So let's help people recognize how they can prevent, not just manage, stress. Substance abuse. Let's look at the way, the documented dangers of that proliferates in our communities. Sleep. and then relationships. And I could give you a list of 20 things that people ought to be thinking about doing. Anchor your day with a morning routine. Well, that sounds great. I'm going to go to the beach every day, Dr. Mantell. I can't do that. Are you kidding me? I got a job. Yeah, but on the way to work, think about what might go right today. Reach out to others to stave off isolation. You're coming out of a doorway, hold the door. Hey, have a good day. Boy, does that change someone's life. I do it all the time. People look at me like I'm crazy. Let them look, but they're smiling. Find low stress ways to connect with people. Fun, creative activities. How about a moment when you're brushing your teeth? Just stop for a moment and think about what you appreciate. I appreciate I have a toothbrush and toothpaste. Yeah, but I want a Mercedes Benz. Yeah, focus on what you have, not on what you don't have. I can tell you this. We need to get out of thinking three things, James. Those three things are: one, life must be different. I must have what he has. Guess what? If you get it, you still aren't him. It's awful, terrible, and horrible if I don't have it. No, it's just too damn bad. I can't stand it. I can't bear it. No, just don't want it. So much hostility and violence comes from thinking my life must be different. And it's horrible that I don't have that fancy watch and I can't stand not having that fancy car, and I'm going to take it. It's one little step to smash and grab from it's horrible, it's terrible, I can't stand it. Come on, let's think about this. Of course you want it, but getting it still doesn't change who you are. What about what the impact is on society? I talked to a young man, came into my office using every curse word, everything he could think of, tried to steal something from my office. They wanted to be a baseball player, and he was a brilliant ball player. And I said to him, listen, I'm going to help you get where you want to go. But first of all, you got to pull up your pants, man, and empty your pocket. That clock you took, I saw you take it. When the New York Times comes to interview you, you talk like this. You think they're going to respect you? I worked with this young man for years. He just got recruited. I can't even tell you the name of the team, to one of the major league teams. James, his mother couldn't be more appreciative. And he can't be more appreciative. And now he's helping other young people learn how to respect themselves differently.
I think it's so important. And that's where I think a lot of things that can be done when people start respecting themselves for who they are. And they are not always looking around at what somebody else has, what they don't. I believe that we all have purpose and we have to work for everything that we do. We have to figure that out ourselves. But we also have to reach out to great mentors like you, Doc, to get your insight on what we need to be doing in order to become that person that we want to become. Doc, now you mentioned earlier, you stated that 20% of America are experiencing mental health, which is equivalent to 50 million of us. Can you explain why the numbers are increasing among the adults?
Well, there's so many reasons. There's not one, but you look at the pandemic, particularly over the last several years, people have been isolated. They've been lonely. Their anxiety has increased. The lack of trust in the government has decreased. That we get these competing numbers and get the vaccine, don't get the vaccine. I think that we see that families are disintegrating. More people are spending time on this device than they are with each other. Kids are losing parenting. Parents, don't know what to do with kids anymore. I think there's an issue as well. I hear it in the clients that I take care of a sense of respect. Self-respect has eroded, and people simply believe that there are fewer and fewer boundaries. I said to a woman who runs a large medical complex just 2 days ago, I said to her, I want you to come up with a to not do list, because she comes home at night, oh my God, I didn't get this done, I didn't get this done, I didn't get this done. I want you to make a list of what you're not going to do. So she did it. She wrote back a text yesterday. She said, oh my God, I feel like a success. I successfully didn't do things I didn't want to do. And my kids are so much happier for me. But I think that we have those issues. Drugs are proliferating. You can't walk down the street without finding a place easily to get drugs. Suicide is increasing. Depression is increasing. And we don't have the talent to reach out and help. I want to tell you something silly, James. I can be a silly thinker. Back in 1979, I had an idea. I wanted to open up little booths in shopping malls for 15-minute coaching sessions. Just 15-minute coaching sessions. People walk by in 1979. Come on in. It's free. The government will pay. Someone's going to pay. Let's sit down. How are you thinking today? People thought I was crazy. James, can you imagine if we had that? Opportunities to reach out and talk. So you put all those things together. And I'll tell you something else that I think we've seen. A disintegration, I'm going to say it, of faith. Faith is a word you use in all your material. It stands at the foundation, and I'm learning from that. I think prayer as mental wellness is something we need to be talking about. Not ashamed to talk about, that religion. No. I'm not talking about a religion. I'm talking about the six dimensions of wellness. And spirituality is one of them. Emotion, occupation, physical, social, intellectual, but spiritual. Building a whole.
We're going to take a station break. Hold that. I want to talk back. We on to something here. So we're going to take a station break. We're going to be back with Dr. Mantell. And wow, this is a absolute wonderful conversation that we're having. So we'll be back shortly. It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James Cooley. See you shortly.
A stands for attitude, commitment, and enthusiasm. Let's talk about the A, attitude. A lot of times we are confronted with things or in situations, and we often react because we're not, for one thing, walking around with the right attitude where we get an opportunity to think. Attitude will make or break you. Most of the time, the first thing, depending on where you're at with your attitude, you want to react. You want to hit. You want to say something. You want to do the first thing that come to your mind. We all have this split second where we can think about it. Somebody bump into you or said something, we can think about it. I need to dream big, think big, and be big. Be big is not in statue. It's in heart and it's in mind. You don't always have to react when you're confronted with a negative situation. Let me talk about the C in ACE. The C stands for commitment. What does the C stand for? What does the C stand for? In order to be committed to anything, you must be committed to yourself. And what I mean by committed to yourself, you must be committed to you telling the truth, you being honest with yourself, regardless what it is. Enthusiasm, just like I mentioned to you, is being excited. Just being excited just because you was able to wake up this morning. I mean, I'm excited. I woke up, the good Lord gave me another day. I'm happy. That's what I'm happy about it, and I'm gonna walk around. I cannot be walking around mad at the world or pissed off about something. Mommy wouldn't let me do that. Daddy say they did all these things. I'm just so. Come on. Put that energy toward a positive thing. Just like Michelle Obama said, when they swing low, you what? Attitude, commitment, and enthusiasm.
Welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James Cool, and I got this absolutely fantastic guest, Dr. Mike Mantell. And just like I said, this is a tough topic to talk about, but it needs to be heard. It needs to be heard, and we need to discuss this. We need to discuss this, just like Dr. Mantell mentioned. We need to discuss this together in groups, leadership, churches, uh, everywhere, even at the kitchen table. We need to talk about these things. So if you want to be part of this discussion, you can always go to the comments notes and ask this great doctor any questions that you want. I'll make sure that he get it. So, Dr. Mantell, we left off, you was identifying the six things that you were talking about. Can we pick up on that one?
Absolutely. The National Wellness Institute a number of years ago described 6 dimensions of wellness: occupation, physical, social, intellectual, emotional, but spiritual is number 1. And I got to tell you something, before we get back to that little piece we just watched, boy, that get me going. I love listening to you because you and I are on the same page. Now, I just want to say something. I have a model that I learned from many years ago from a psychologist named Albert Ellis. Activating event, beliefs about the activating event, and the consequences, A, B, and C. Most people think, you made me angry. She made me sad. That scared me. No. You want to be emotionally healthy? Stop putting the responsibility on other people. We don't get upset. We make ourselves upset. Now, I said that to a group and they said, that's not very nice. You're blaming the person. No, I'm not. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm putting responsibility where it belongs, just like you brought it in such an incredible way. Having said that, I believe that social wellness, which is what we're talking about in our society, not individual mental wellness necessarily, but social wellness, it rests on this idea that it's better to contribute to the common welfare of our community than to think only of yourself. It's better to live in harmony with others and our environment than to live in conflict. What am I thinking that's making me feel so angry? I'm telling myself life must be different. It's horrible and I can't stand it. How about talking to yourself in a healthier way? Prayer accomplishes our need to live in harmony with others and to regularly think of ourselves as being part of a larger community. I happen to believe that part of an answer to much of what's going on today is this emotional wellness, that it's better to be aware of and accept your feelings and better to be optimistic than pessimistic. I think there's lots of ways to express your frustration. Hate, destruction, violence. No. I think that when you recognize that prayer is not only like internal supplication, please, 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 but it's reflection and introspection. It gives you that chance to take that stop for a moment that you talked about, James. When we pray, we got to be thinking about what we're saying. It's coming to a deeper understanding of ourselves and leaving that prayer, whether it's a day or a moment, changed and improved. That's the point. What can I do to change and improve me? And when the winds of hatred blow, ask yourself one question. Have I done everything I can to help change the situation today? And if the answer is, well, not really, what can I say?
Wow. Hey, Doc. So you mentioned uh, uh, emotional disturbance and being emotionally upset. Can you kind of explain the difference between both of those?
Yeah, sure. Emotional wellness. I'm sorry. Could you just ask that question again? Because we cut out for a moment.
How does one respond to or treat emotional disturbance and emotional upset? One being
Right.
disturbed or one being upset.
Versus upset. Okay. So we have healthy and unhealthy negative emotions. Okay. We have healthy positive emotions. We have healthy negative and unhealthy negative emotions. So if I'm annoyed, that's a healthy negative emotion. The guy in traffic is stopped. He's looking at his cell phone. The light turned green. I'm annoying myself. Come on, guy, let's go. But on the other hand, if I create rage, he shouldn't be doing that, to the point where I think that's horrible, terrible, and I can't stand. I go out and I punch him in the face. Obviously, I've created an unhealthy negative emotion. Healthy negative emotion might be concern. Unhealthy negative emotion is anxiety. Do you see the difference? It's a shade. It's on a continuum. And when we live in the present, not in the past, when we stay involved in communities and groups and positive living, when we cultivate what some might consider old-fashioned now virtues, when we focus on love and compassion and humor and loyalty, when we find something bigger than ourselves, we're moving towards emotional wellness.
Well, you also stated that self-esteem could be an emotional cancer. Can you explain that to us?
Say it again.
Self-esteem is an emotional cancer.
Oh, self-esteem is emotional cancer. Yes. What does that mean? Look, when we rate ourselves, like I never did well in math. Failed senior math in high school, barely got by in math, still can't do math. When the four of us go out for dinner, and I hope soon one of these days, I'm going to give you the check, not to pay it, but to help me figure out the percent of the tip, because I can't do that. My wife will laugh. She knows it's true. Does that mean I am a failure as a human being? No. It means I'm someone who's not good at math. Self-esteem is always conditional. So I teach people, rate your skills, judge your performances. Was this a good interview today? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Whatever it was, it was. That doesn't mean, it doesn't define me as a human being. I'm not defined by the fact that I drive the car I drive. Okay, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not defined by the address I have or the label of the jacket. That's self-esteem. I feel so good about myself because I got an A. Yeah, what happens when you get a C? It's conditional. Let's not do that. Let's look at the broader, deeper meaning of life and be tolerant of the beliefs that others have, however they rate us. You're entitled to rate me the way you want to. Doesn't mean I have to define myself by your belief. That's self-esteem. It's cancer.
Wow. We're going to take a station break, but I really don't want to because we're on the road here. But we're going to take a station break and we're going to come back and continue to talk to this great doctor, Dr. Michael Mantell. So you want to be part of the conversation, just go to the comments. Just shoot me or comment and I'll get it across to you. It's your life. I'm Dr. James Cooley. We'll be back shortly.
You have this thing called vision. You can kind of see out, but it might not make any sense to you at the time. So we don't like to share these ideas with anybody because we think that they're going to make fun of us and they're going to laugh at us. We have to share these ideas. We have to talk about these ideas. That takes us to the next feed. Collaborate. Remember, create, collaborate in our communities, in this room, and in and out projects, and other nonprofits, and everything we do. We have to collaborate because we want to make it stronger. We want to be the voice out there that's going to give our communities, our societies, our states, our organizations, an opportunity. So we collaborate, we talk about it, we build upon these things. Because you might have some ideas that she might not have, and he might not have some ideas that he might not have. But if we talk about these things, we work with these things, we come up with the best possible plan and solution to move forward. So create, collaborate.
Hello, welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley, and I tell you, um, talking to Dr. Michael Mantell, and we're talking about mental health being the next pandemic. And I think that we already reached that stage based on a lot of the things that are happening around us, and it seems like it's getting worse and worse. And just like I mentioned, I think we have to learn to love each other, respect each other, care for each other. We have to learn to encourage each other. We have to give each other a hug every now and then because we all need it. So I want to pick it up with that, Doc. Emotional, we were talking about emotional, healthy and unhealthy. Um, how would you encourage a person that are listening right now that might be having these struggles and they are afraid to talk to anyone about this? What would you tell them?
I would say, number one, look at the self-talk you have. When I'm afraid to talk to you about this, it's because I'm telling myself, you are going to judge me poorly, and you shouldn't, and I can't tolerate that. And you're putting the possibility of what this person thinks over you getting help. We have to ponder the meaning of life for ourselves. We have to, excuse me, excuse me. We have to align our internal world with our external world and live authentically for ourselves. When I let you determine, or let what I think you determine, your thoughts about me, I am in trouble. I'm not living authentically. I'm not living Michael. I'm living what I think James thinks about Michael. So when we take that time out, whether it's through breathing work or meditation or mindfulness or just being aware for a moment, it's a way of imbuing my life with values and ideas that I can fill my days with emotional and mental wellness. Listen to what you're telling yourself that's keeping you from going where you need to go. So if I need a shot and I tell myself, oh my God, it's going to hurt so bad, it's going to kill me, I'm afraid, I can't tolerate it, I'm never going to get the shot. I'm going to stay sick. And then I'm going to blame the shot. It's not the shot. It's what I think about that shot.
Wow. Why do you believe that we're experiencing so much strife today? It's just so many things happening at one time. Can you bring some solution to that?
I think we don't look. I think there's a it's called a cognitive distortion. Cognitive distortion means we color the way we look at things. One of them is called magnification and minimization. There's a lot wrong with our world today. My goodness. Wherever you look, you can find something to make yourself, not get, make yourself upset about. What I do is magnify not the bad, magnify the good, magnify the positive, minimize the negative. We're not connecting with people. We're connecting with people this way. Let's connect this way. Let's connect with family and friends and colleagues and neighbors. You know, Louis Armstrong's that song, I see trees of green and so forth. I mean, when I hear that, I see people smiling at each other. That to me is what it's about. We're not taking notice. We're in a hurry. We're not stopping to see the beauty around us. One of the recommendations I make to all my clients is when you wake up in the morning, I don't care what your bedroom looks like. Appreciate, like you said in that moment ago, appreciate the fact that God or whoever you believe in gave you breath again today. And there must be a reason you got that breath. And think about that. What's the reason I'm alive today? What's my purpose? Not because, oh, he says I'm this, I'm that. No. Take notice of yourself. Keep learning. Give a smile for something nice for a friend. And be as active as you can be. As silly as this sounds, science backs this one up. When you walk by a mirror, wave at the mirror. Wave at the mirror, smile and wave. Someone's smiling and waving. You are. Yeah, I get it. But you know what science tells us? Science says when you look at the mirror and smile and wave, and you see that person smile waving, serotonin increases, endorphins increases, dopamine increases, and which are all the happy chemicals, and the endorphins increase. Cortisol, stress decreases. So just laugh for no reason. You'll find life will go better.
Wow. You know, Doc, we're down to the last 3 minutes of the show. We can, we're gonna do this again real soon, sir. Whenever you get some time. I mean, yeah. But what are some of the takeaways? Like 3 takeaways that our listeners and our viewers should get from this great interview that I'm having with you.
Be kind to yourself. That will help you be kind to others. Don't judge yourself globally. Don't rate yourself. Rate your skills. But don't ever think, because I don't do this well, therefore I am not well. I think it's important to be able to get past the stories that are holding you back. The sky is not the limit. Your thoughts are your limit. You're never really denied. You're delayed. I was coaching someone who's applying for a position, a very important position. And I said, you tell them I'm not trying to become this person. I am going to become this person. You're never denied. You're delayed. What's delaying me? The way I think. So those are some tips that I give to people. And when people use them and they understand that the principle of independent thinking and emotional responsibility, I'm making myself feel this. What am I thinking that's making myself feel this? I'm free and I'm an independent thinker and I have emotional agility and I can move forward.
How can our viewers and listeners get in touch with you?
Very simply. They can write to me at Dr. Mantell, DrMantell at me.com. Just be in touch. Dr. Mantell at me.com. DrMantell at me.com. I answer almost immediately.
Yes, and you do, because every time I call you, hey, Dr. Mantell, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show, like always. And just like I said, if you have time anytime soon, please let me know. I will work you into the schedule because I believe that our listeners and our viewers need to understand these great topics that you talk about?
We can go into any one of these, and to be considered a regular on your spot would be a tremendous honor. So I'm available to make myself available when the opportunity arises. Give my best to Michelle and thank her for all the hard work she does. Thank you, sir, and I'm hoping that the four of us can get together in person one of these days real soon.
We will. In about 3 weeks, I think we'll be in San Diego. So
Okay, great.
But I want to thank Dr. Mantell for taking the time to come on the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. I also got to always thank my listeners out there and my viewers now for always tuning in. We always looking for sponsors so we can continue to bring these great messages and these great shows and these great guests to you. I tell you what, you can watch us on 8360 TV. That's like 8 different networks. And you can listen to us on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and other mechanisms. And also, you can catch the rerun on the podcast. 31 different podcasts out there. Tell you what, it's your life. I'll see you next Tuesday on E360 TV. Tuesday and Wednesday. Thank you so much.